Looks like everything's working to me. Well, what do we got today? I finally got my zombie cyborgs all top coated this week. So these are the ones that we kit bashed on the channel from the Wargames Atlantic lines. And yeah, it should be pretty darn cool. So these are kind of built out of the Wargames Atlantic scavengers, the automatons set, and then their zombies set as well, with a tiny bit of 3D printing for stuff like these kind of back pieces and stuff like that I 3D printed out of resin, just because I wanted to give some of them a little bit more robot pieces. So yeah, so it should be good. So I don't super have an amazingly thought out plan for these. I was kind of just gonna start and then get to it. I'm going to do all of their skin initially in company gray from Army Painter, because this is just a nice base coat for skin color, and if I end up doing kind of like a skin tone and then like a shade over it, this will be a great base color for that. So it'll give us a really nice kind of just basic color if we want to try putting a shade over it. So what I'm thinking about doing for these guys' skin is I am thinking about maybe making my own wash for them, and trying applying that, because I do all the other zombies that I paint, I usually do them one of two ways. I either do them in kind of a like exsanguinated white kind of color, right? So that they are kind of white with a white wash over top of it. So it gives them kind of like gray highlights or gray lowlights. That's how I painted the World War II zombies we did on the channel. And it just makes a cool looking, like kind of like biological looking zombie, I guess. Like it looks very like experimenty, and I think that looks pretty cool. So I usually do that, or all of my vampire models, which have a whole lot of zombies in them, they all actually use a blue based wash on all the models, and this includes even like animals and stuff. And I did that because I can put the blue over like a gray fur color, and it looks really cool. I can show that off in a second. So the white based zombie that I'm talking about that we did on the channel are like these World War II zombies here. So they're pretty cool. They look kind of experimenty. I like that look for my zombies. Pardon the Shiba Inu hair. The life of owning one. This guy is one of my vampire zombies. You can see he's kind of like a blue color, and I use the same blue color on all the vampire monsters as well. because I do them all in gray, and then I put the blue over top of them, and then it kind of ties them together along with the bases being kind of tied together. And yeah, I think that looks really cool. I like just conceptually, I think works well since they're kind of the same, like faction, I guess, you know. So we're gonna start off with this kind of base white for our zombies here for their skin, and go from there. So because I've done white and blue zombies, I kind of actually want to do these ones in green, to be honest. Should use the paint shaker my husband got me. It's over there. Ugh. So next weekend I plan on redoing my craft room on the long weekend. So I'm going to get my paint shaker set up on the table finally. I won't have to go and grab it off the paint rack every time I want to use it, because it's really nice. It works very well. Okay. So anyway, yeah, so I was thinking about maybe doing a green, but I don't just want to do a green wash over them. So I think we might actually try to mix up our own kind of shade for these guys. So also kind of thinking red, but I think I might just be on a red kick in general right now. Because I'm painting a lot of things red. I'm painting some like generic Hell Demons, and I'm painting some more of those Scarlet Crusade guys that we built on the channel. So I think I might just be on a red kick at the moment. But yeah, so I've got one guy from each kind of the like bases that we used here, and I figure we'll just keep going today until we get them all done. Now this guy, I think we could paint his chest like it's skin too, but I think we're gonna do that as cloth on this one because I gave him a sleeve from the scavenger's box so he can hold a pistol. Because I kind of liked having like a range of zombie robot, right? From like super zombie, you know, just like straight up walking corpse, to kind of in the middle, to it looks a lot more like a person. You know, I kind of liked that range there, so. Yeah, and his other arm is like robotic, I think. Yeah, he's got a little bit of flesh in there. Paint that in. Then we can pick the metal pieces out of it. All right. But yeah, there's a lot of detail in these automaton models. They really are just fantastic. There's a lot of uses for them too. From just wanting cybernetic parts for your dudes, to you want like robot zombies, to you want like servitors. I mean, it's pretty crazy. If you look at the new Kill Team box, it's something like $90 a fucking team, which is insane. Especially when this box is $30 and you get like 3 times the number of guys in it. And I'm gonna be super honest, they look very similar. Hi, buddy. What are you doing? What you doing, pupper? My doggo that covers all my models in hair has come to visit us. Say hi, buddy. No, where are you going? You're going off the camera, you dummy. Where are you going? Yeah, see? see what I deal with, all the hair everywhere. Aren't you? Where are you going? Come on, spin it around. Spin it around, you in the way. Alright, I want to get back to the desk. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, so that's my doggo that covers everything I own in hair. Which is really fine. I complain about it, but honestly, a quick, like, and it's all gone. Alright, so this is just going to be like a gunmetal kind of color, like a medium silver. Not like a super dark silver, but like just kind of a generic medium silver. This one specifically is chainmail from Vallejo. It's a nice, just medium level silver. Okay, what am I going to do? Well, I'm just going to start picking out some of the robot bits. So it should give me some idea, just kind of overall, of what kind of flow and look we're going to have to the model once we have some of these pieces picked out. And then we'll come back in with some other metallic colors and clean those up as well. Oh, man. Ear is bugging me today. But not as bad as last year. Last year I spent a good chunk of the beginning of the year more or less deaf in one ear. So, yeah, I can still hear stuff, so that's nice. I see that as an absolute win. Alright. This guy's actually not going to have that many robot pieces, I guess. This guy's got quite a few, though. He's got this hand, and he's got a bunch of stuff here. These feel like the kind of models that, like, I'm going to continuously miss details until everything is painted. And then I'm going to be like, shit. Because there is a lot of details in there. I guess the whole knee part is all metal on this one, I guess. Sorry, can you guys actually see that? That might be a little off camera. I apologize. I'm really trying to get in there close to see all the details. Yeah, these things are really exciting. Very cool. I have been on this huge multi-part plastic kick for the last month or so, just building all kinds of stuff. I would really like to get a game in of something. Thinking maybe Fantasy Quest, using the stuff I was putting together for Frostgrave, or 5 Parsecs. Or, I'm sorry, 5 Leagues. Maybe that's what we'll look into. Definitely want to play something next week, because it's going to be a long weekend because of the holiday. I would say good old Juneteenth, but to be honest, it's this is our 2nd year getting it, so calling it good old feels weird. But yeah, very exciting. Have a nice holiday week. Should be nice and chill. Starting my new job has been very busy and very stressful, but figuring it out, and we're getting there, you know. But I'll be honest, kind of these like build your own character multi-part plastic kits have actually been super mega relaxing. Just because like it's kind of all imagination and fantasy with these. Like you're like, oh, you know, it'd be really neat if the Wolf Riders had 2 guys on there instead of 1. And then it's like, oh, okay, let's put 2 guys on there and it works. You know? Yeah, so there's been a lot of that, which has been really, really fun with these. I've been really enjoying doing the knights, actually. Which is kind of funny, because I'm usually not like a big like medieval knights guy. But I kind of like the idea of like a Scarlet Crusade style, like kind of bad guy knights. And I think that kind of character is really been sort of motivating me. Or the what are they called from the Wheel of Time? Anti-magic knights in Wheel of Time. The white something maybe. I don't remember what they're called. I only read part of the first book. My husband knows like them all the way through, but okay. So we got some robot bits painted in there. Let's go ahead and let's get some clothing pieces painted in, I think. So I'm just going to use a khaki color. In this case, I'm going to use Vallejo khaki. Really, any khaki color works well for clothing. So I have this one, so it works. Alright, we're going to start off painting. I think we're going to paint this guy's coat in khaki. Now, a lot of the details on this guy are kind of like blocked by that giant gun, but it's fine. We'll paint what we can, because what we can paint is what you're going to see. So if we end up missing little bits and bobs, it's okay. But yeah, so when I was kit bashing these on the channel, I was what I did was actually build them in groups of 3, because I think that way they'll work really good for Grimdark Future Firefight. These are the kind of mobs that in my brain should kind of be in groups of 3, because they're kind of like zombies with guns and robot clamp arms, but they're still very like, I don't know, not like huge threat kind of enemies. You know what I mean? They're the, you know, you can probably take them out easily 1-on-1, but when it's 3-on-1 or 6-on-1, you're screwed, you know? So because of that, I sort of built them in groups of 3, because when I find something to use their rolls for, I'm sure it'll be a kind of like a horde 3 unit. Which is actually one of the things I really like about StarQuest, is the fact that you do still have these kind of like fodder units. I think that's pretty cool, because that's something that I feel like a lot of the other solo play games actually don't do. And I think it's a neat mechanic to still have that, like, you're fighting a horde even though you're only playing like one character kind of game. I think that's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of that. So what ends up happening is if you end up fighting like more than one horde at a time, like chances are you're not going to kill a horde in one round. unless you're just like grossly outpower them, or built specifically to kill hordes. And so like they always end up getting some hits in it. I think that's kind of cool, because it means that if you end up were to fight multiple groups of them, they would kind of actually overwhelm you just by the nature of their numbers and activations and stuff. And it's always cool when game rules match, you know, match kind of like the models and sort of like the feeling of it. You know what I mean? You have that narrative sort of match the gameplay, and that's always really cool. A couple of years ago, there was it was very popular to use the phrase ludonarrative dissonance. So it's kind of a joke phrase now, but there is a lot of truth to it, and the idea that do we want to do this guy with some tan? You know, we're actually just going to paint him like he's in a jumpsuit. Oh, we're going to do part of this guy into him. So yeah, it's kind of a joke phrase now, but there's a lot of value in making sure that your narrative matches your gameplay. You know, because then not only does it extend beyond list building and reading lore and all that kind of stuff, right? You can actually kind of see it and feel it on the table. And there's something really cool about that. These zombie bodies are really nice. This is from the Pulp Wargames Atlantic Zombie Box. It's really, really fantastic. And their online thing, if you want more pieces for it, they actually have like STL pieces you can download for it too. If you want different heads for different eras, and I think some different arms. Don't quote me on the different arms pieces, but I think you can get different arms. This is just olive drab kind of color. This one's called Army Green. Again, from Fanatics. And we're just going to paint this guy like he's in a green jumpsuit. This is one of the things I actually really like about these kind of multi-part plastic models, is that everything isn't perfectly prescribed. Like I could very easily paint this guy